Hello, and thank you for listening to this episode of the Moore's October Rants. Today's episode is going to be titled, It's Not About You. In life, people are going to come at us sometimes hard. They're going to yell, blame, insult, or say things that cut deep. It's almost inevitable. And when it happens, it can feel like a punch to the gut. The instinct for most of us is to turn inward and wonder, what did I do wrong? We start questioning everything, our words, our tone, our actions, as if we're solely responsible for their reaction. But here's the thing, most of the time, their behavior has absolutely nothing to do with us. It's about them, their struggles, their frustrations, and whatever's going on in their world that we can't see. I think we've all been guilty of this, of taking someone else's bad mood or harsh words and making it our fault. Like, let's say you ask someone a simple question and they snap at you. You might replay that moment 100 times in your head, thinking, I should have worded it differently, or I shouldn't have asked at all. Or if someone insults you out of nowhere, you might spiral, wondering if there's something wrong with you, something you need to fix. But here's what we often forget, their reaction doesn't necessarily reflect you. It's more likely reflecting something they're dealing with that you don't even know about. Take this for example. I'm on this app where I chat with people. Most of the time, it's fun. I meet cool people, have great conversations, it's good vibes. But every now and then, it takes a turn. Someone will suddenly block me or start saying mean things. And for the longest time, I'd sit there staring at my screen, trying to figure out what went wrong. Was I too forward? Did I come across the wrong way? Should I have said less? I'd obsess over it, blaming myself for their reaction. But then it hit me. If I know I'm showing up in the best way I can, being respectful, genuine, and kind, then their reaction isn't about me. It's about them. Maybe they had a bad day. Maybe they were already upset before they even started talking to me. Or maybe they're just dealing with stuff in their own life that makes them lash out. Whatever it is, it's not my responsibility to carry that burden or fix it. This applies to social media in a big way too. Let's be real. People can be brutal online. They'll say things behind a screen they'd never say to someone's face. And it's easy to take it personally, especially when the comments feel so targeted. But when you peel back the layers, most of the time, those comments have more to do with what's going on inside them than anything about you. Someone who's happy, secure, and content with their life doesn't usually go out of their way to hurt others. It's the people who are hurting, frustrated, or angry that tend to project those feelings onto others. Here's another layer to this, blaming ourselves for things we had no control over. We've all done it. You might think, if only I had been nicer, or if I hadn't said that, maybe they wouldn't have gotten upset. But that kind of thinking is a trap. It puts all the responsibility on you when, in reality, other people's actions are their responsibility. Sure, we all make mistakes sometimes, and when we do, it's important to own up to them. But but there's a big difference between taking accountability for something you actually did and blaming yourself for someone else's behavior. Think about it. How often do we let someone else's bad mood ruin our day? They snap at us, and suddenly we're carrying that weight around, letting it fester. But what if instead we reminded ourselves that their behavior is a reflection of them? Maybe they're overwhelmed at work, or maybe they've got personal issues weighing them down. Whatever it is, it's not about us. And once you can see it that way, it gets so much easier to let it go. This took me a while to learn, and honestly, I'm still working on it. But one of the biggest lessons I've taken from all this is to stop taking things personally. That doesn't mean I don't care. It just means I've learned to separate my worth from other people's actions. If someone treats me poorly, and I know I didn't deserve it, I don't let it eat at me the way I used to. I remind myself, this is about them, not me. And that's a huge shift in perspective. When you stop taking things personally, you free yourself from carrying other people's baggage. You don't waste energy overanalyzing or beating yourself up. Instead, you can focus on what you can control, your actions, your attitude, and your own peace of mind. Now, don't get me wrong. This doesn't mean you should excuse bad behavior or let people walk all over you. Boundaries are important. If someone's being toxic or disrespectful, you absolutely have the right to call them out or remove yourself from the situation. But even then, you can do it without letting their negativity stick to you. You can recognize that their behavior says more about them than it does about you. So the next time someone snaps at you, insults you, or blocks you out of nowhere, take a step back. Instead of jumping to, what did I do wrong? Try thinking, what might they be going through? And even if you never find out what's behind their behavior, you can choose not to take it personally. You can choose to let it go. At the end of the day, the way people treat you is a reflection of them. The way you respond is a reflection of you. So if you can respond with understanding, grace, and a little bit of detachment, you're winning. You're protecting your peace, and that's worth everything. Anyways, thank you for listening to this episode of the Moore's October Rants. Signing out. Have a good one, guys. Goodbye.